but I guess Bangalore traffic, you can only fight so much, and then the traffic wins. So, so apologies for that, but we'll get started here. So thank you for coming. I just mentioned traffic. I know it's a long day probably for many of you who are probably, rushing from work or rushing from your home office to get here. So we definitely, are 100% sure that we will make it worth your while to be here. And then some people got dropped off at the gate because I don't know what security guy was telling them that they cannot go inside, even though I know that they should let everybody come in with whatever vehicle they are in. So I don't know what happened there because someone told me they got stopped. So that's, I told the people to go talk to the security guy and make sure that they don't do that anymore. So anyway, so we have a great set of speakers and panelists here. You will get to meet them more as we progress through the day, and you will get more detailed introductions. But anyway, I'll just quickly call out the names. Arvind ji is sitting right here. Thomas is not here. Rupesh, Mano, Prashant, Neha, Utkarsh, Sujoy, Sai Shankar, Shivani, Rajat, Keshav, and Anup. Anup is also flying in from Hyderabad, so he's not here yet, but he promises me that the traffic will let him get from the airport here. So hopefully he will make it. But anyway, so, again, we have, I think, partially the attendees here that have registered. I think some are still trying to get here. And just to give you a quick flavor, we have, 85 attendees or so that have registered. And they are from about 50 different corporates. So there's a good representation. And very quickly, just to show you, these are kind of the people that are here belong to. And this is a slide that I made from the logos of the attendees there about 3 weeks ago. I haven't updated it in a while. And I know there are some people who might be saying, ki, mera logo kahan gaya? So sorry about that. I didn't get the time to re-update it. But again, this gives you kind of a flavor from some big companies to smaller, to startups, to well-established, to, some might call old school, to some might call cutting edge. But there are, a fair slice of the industry here with a very strong skew towards technology and SaaS. And again, it's not a surprise because customer success, which is the focus of this summit here, is mostly related to SaaS, as I think everyone here knows, so I don't need to repeat the obvious. But again, that is something that I just wanted to give a kind of an overview of where things stand. And just one quick, a show of hands. Exclude people that you work with. If you know more than 5 people in this room, raise your hand. Okay. People who know more than 3 people, raise your hand. So all the people who were there before probably raise the hand again. And people who don't know anybody in this room. Okay. So there are a few here. Okay. So now we are going to fix that, right? So we're going to address that. So very quickly, a brief intro for myself. I won't take too much time. I started my career as a techie. Graduating as an engineer and started development work and all that. And along the way, I got bitten by. I used to hate customers, by the way. When I was doing pure development work, the last thing I ever wanted to do, and my managers knew that, was to put Shankar in front of a customer. Because I will get all moody and I will start snapping at people and it was just hopeless, right? And then along the way, somehow, I don't know how, I started to kind of like the interactions with the customers. So from being a totally monitor-centric person, where I would literally sit, 8, 10, 12 hours a day and stare at the monitor and just, do my thing, I started to kind of start liking this feedback, this live feedback that you get with talking to customers, right? So that is how I kind of transitioned from being a pure techie to a more customer-facing role. And along the way, you know, I went through various levels of ownership or responsibility, from being an individual owner to managing a small team to, you know, chief customer officer, and then a co-founder of a company that does a lot of customer-facing work. So I kind of, you know, progressed through the ranks, and along the way I realized that customer success, in some ways, to make this conversation a little light, is kind of like a mango, right? We have a mango trees around here, people all sitting under mango trees, and now everyone is thinking, ye to pagal ho gaya hai. I think heat stroke has hit him, and what is he blabbering about? So let me explain, give me 15 seconds. So mango looks so delicious on the surface, it's so easy, smooth, and sweet, and all of that, right? Kind of like customer success. On the surface, it looks very easy to do, right? Okay, I'll just go in front of the customer and talk, I'll shake my, you know, move my hands, and any tough problem, I'll call some technical guy, they will come and do this thing, and everything is good. But as you dig in deeper and deeper into this so-called easy thing, you realize you start biting into the seed of the mango, and it's not so easy anymore. It's not so smooth, sweet, fleshy, and something that you can just do like that. It just doesn't work like that. So this is the place where we are going to try and unravel these layers of so-called, you know, mystery that kind of lurks inside a mango, right? So that is what, you know, it's kind of like one of the purposes of this forum, because of all the experts, these guys know how to cut around the seed so you only get the good part, and you're not wasting your energy trying to, you know, upsell to a customer that doesn't want to even talk to you, right? I'm just giving some brief examples, right? A lot of people run into this. Oh, should I talk to them about upsell when I'm doing renewals? Or should I talk to them right after they had an outage? And should I still talk to them? Because that's what your managers are pushing you. Talk. Upsell. But some of them is productive and some of them is not so productive. So and these are things that you kind of have to know what other people have faced and can learn from, as opposed to, you know, getting your teeth all, you know, messed up because you bit the seed too hard, right? So that is kind of like the purpose of this summit here. I called out the names of the people here, and as you can see that, you know, we have this very rich slate of experts here, and you will get to interact with, that you will get to not just hear, which is the easy part, right? Hearing someone is the easy part, that you should genuinely try to make a connection with, because that could be a make or break kind of a fork in the road, as they say, in your career, right? So don't just come here thinking that, oh, I can just connect with people on LinkedIn and that is good enough. And these are all experts, they're all very helpful people, they know a lot of stuff, they have a world of experience, and they can actually genuinely be someone that you would like to call a friend, as opposed to my LinkedIn contact number 4521, right? Because one thing COVID has taught us is that somehow connecting on the social media things is good enough. It's not. It's just not, right? Just because I connected with someone doesn't mean anything. In this modern world, we are too polite and we are too lazy to say ignore. So our upbringing just forces us to click on accept. And then you feel good for a microsecond, chalo acha hai. And then you move on, right? That's basically how we all brought up. So nobody goes around and ignore. So we just don't do that, right? So that's kind of like the thing. So, you know, this is your panel. You will get, as I said earlier, you'll get to meet them more as we go along, and basically make genuine connections. So this slide actually, so this is something that I personally, from my own experience, when I was kind of your age, I'm a little older, not very old, but a little older, is that when I was kind of attending, you know, conferences and summits, I had no agenda of what the hell I wanted to achieve there. The only thing was I'll get some free food, right, or some food. I will talk to some random people, and then I will come back and I'll start my next day from where I left off, right? So I took a stab at, you know, very simple goals that everybody here should choose from. You know, it's nothing fancy here. It's not like, oh, I'm going to write a thesis, so I should come up with 3 references on how, ARR of 120 or, whatever, 105 versus churn rate of 40, what's the exponential graph looks like, and because there are people who do that. There are actually people who would do those kinds of things where you are actually graphing all these fancy things and coming up with all these exponential equations. And Google is, the place to go for it, but not this place. So if you want that kind of gyan, go to Google, right? Here what you want to do is, again, as I said earlier, look for connections that you think are useful for you. That is the single most important thing. Try to learn one thing, not 100 things, not, PhD. Nobody's doing PhD in customer success. It doesn't even exist, but even if it did, I don't think anyone should do it. But so let's just go back to this, focus on making connections. That's kind of the thing. So now we move on to the kind of what the agenda here will look like, right? So we talked about, again, as I said earlier, we kind of got delayed a little bit because of various reasons and all of that. But again, so we are going to jump right into, even though it's not 4:15 anymore, so Arvind sir will come up and he will talk about a very, a great subject, which is the future of customer success. And I think many people here, especially after COVID, are kind of wondering as to what is expected in 2023 with the economic downturn, Facebook and all kinds of companies laying off people left, right, and center. What the hell is going on, right? Where do I fit in? So a lot of those kinds of questions, Arvind ji will shed some light on. So let's go there. And then after that, there is a panel discussions on tools. So customer success is, as everybody knows, is now full of tools, right? And we have a few experts who are using tools on a daily basis, talk about some of the things that are related to the usage of tools, problems, best practices, onboarding, integrations, whatever. So Shivani is going to lead that session. And then after that, we're going to have actually a little break where people can go out, chill a little bit, get some coffee, chai, things of that nature. And hopefully by that time, the weather gods have let this place cool down a little bit. So we'll do that. And then after that, we are going to kind of split into two groups, either before Thomas speaks or after Thomas. Prashant, I don't know how much time you need, but somewhere along the line there, what will happen is that in classroom 4 below, Prashant here will be running mock interview sessions. So he's right there. So anyone who's interested, please get in touch with him. He's an expert on getting people prepped up and giving honest feedback, because that is one thing, is a safe place to get feedback. Those are few and far between. So value them. Value them very much, because you literally, even though a lot of LinkedIn posts will tell you, go to your manager and talk about your problems, not a good idea, right? You don't want to go to your manager and say, oh, can you give me a feedback on a mock interview? Well, that's a kiss of death right there, right? But here you have this luxury of being able to get honest, true feedback in a very safe environment. So make use of that, whoever is thinking of whatever, job switches and things of that nature. So after that, Thomas will come in. He's one, he's a great guy too. He's not here, I don't think so. So he will talk about, many things. So successful, how to be successful is one of them. And then after that, we have Utkarsh. He's talking about customer advocacy. There is Utkarsh. And I've seen his deck, a sneak peek, and it's a good one. So you definitely want to be there. And as Utkarsh and I were talking, customer advocacy has become one of the buzzwords lately. A lot of people are talking about it. In 2022, it wasn't really, it was coming up, but right now it's kind of become a bigger thing. And he will explain why is that. And then we have the second panel discussion, and this is a lot, everyone on this panel is either a founder or a co-founder of a technology company in the CS space, and what problems they're seeing, how they're solving it, and how they are going to change the customer success world. So this is again one of those panel discussions you don't want to miss, and you will learn some good stuff. I guarantee you that. And then after that, Neha ji, I don't know if she's here. Oh, there she is. Oh, she's sitting in the back. So Neha is going to talk about something which many times gets ignored because it's seen as a problem of the management. But actually is not a problem of the management. What you have a customer-centric culture is definitely from, management has to play a role in that, no doubt. But you also have to have the individual contributors come up and pull their weight. And then lastly, I will kind of, quickly wrap it up, and then we break for dinner. Dinner will be outside again, where we had the welcome drink and some biscuits and stuff. So that is kind of like the agenda for the day. And I'm not going to waste any more time because we know we're running really behind. So I will turn it over to Urban Ji, and he will take it away from there.